So now we have our branches set up. We can actually start working with Bootstrap first, and then later we'll dive into material design also. Now let's start with Bootstrap. And again, in order to be sure that I'm at the right branch, I'll just do a git checkout, and I'll just put in Bootstrap right here to make sure that I'm on the right branch. There we go, I'm on the Bootstrap branch. Now, if you guys want to actually upload yours to GitHub later, the command is pretty simple. You just do it like this. You do a git push -u, and then you want to go to the origin, and you want to push the material branch, or maybe the Bootstrap branch. That's what I did. So that's why they're available up there now. And you can also clone those by saying git clone if you want to clone my branch. You just clone the entire project, and then you just do a git checkout to that branch. Okay, so it's very easy for you to dive into my branches if you want to later on. And again, the final part you want to know is I'm going to actually take those branches and merge them together depending on if I want to go for Bootstrap or I want to go for material later on. So that's also a point that we'll figure out later. So enough about branching. Let's actually dive into how we can get Bootstrap installed in our application right here. And we're going to start by looking at getbootstrap.com right here. That's the main page for Bootstrap, and here you can go and check out the docs, and you can find the different components you have available. You can go and check out layout. You have all the information about the overall Bootstrap package, and this is something that you could use for anything. If you were using jQuery, you could still use this setup. If you're using React, there's help in here. If you're using Vue.js, it doesn't matter. Bootstrap is kind of the main page right here that knows everything about Bootstrap. We're working with Angular, so we need kind of a wrapper for some of these specific components right here. So we're going to install Bootstrap using the Angular-powered Bootstrap right here. Now, the cool thing with this guy is that he actually has extra information that we can use to use some certain components. Like, for instance, dropdowns. Dropdowns, we need some extra JavaScript. Now, with this setup right here, we have some Angular-specific components that we can use right away. We don't have to start building our own components from scratch. So that's pretty neat. So think of this as an Angular wrapper on top of the main Bootstrap part. Okay, let's install it. Luckily, it's very easy to get started with Bootstrap nowadays. You actually just have to run a simple Angular command right here. I'm into the editor again, and inside the terminal, I'm going to put in this command. And let's just execute it. And there we go. Now it's going to install the package and get all the things we need to start working with Bootstrap. Now the installation took a bit of time, but here's what it changed. We got some styles, we got some polyfills. Let's check out the files just to get an overview about what actually happens. So first of all, in the style CSS, we just imported the entire Bootstrap library right here. That's the first thing we did. If we go to the polyfills, they made some changes in the polyfills so that we can actually use, in older browsers, we can use some Bootstrap specific information. Let's just have a look actually. I can just show you a bit more Git coolness right here. We'll just go into Git and we'll show difference. There we go. We can see it seems it installed this Angular localize in it up here. That's the difference. Sweet. So that was changed. And let's just go further. Also in the app module, it started to install the NGB module, which is the Bootstrap module to start using and working with Bootstrap. So that's it. That's how you install Bootstrap inside Angular. So the final thing I want to make sure before we end the video is that Bootstrap is actually installed and we can start using it. So I'll jump into the chat component HTML right here. I'm down at the button on line 32 for actually creating the nickname and sending that nickname. And we're going to here make a class that we are actually going to call button. And then we want to kind of call the button a warning button right now, like this. Now I'll show you how all of this is working in later videos, but I just want to kind of make sure before we end the video that Bootstrap is actually installed, and you can do the same to make sure that you actually have Bootstrap installed as you want. So there we go. It seems that now my nickname has changed this button into a send button. You can also see a lot of the other things have changed actually just by installing Bootstrap. It's a different styling for the text and stuff like that. So a lot of things already occurred just by installing that tool. And there's a bit of margin problems right here. It's not a problem that we want to take care of right now. We'll fix that as we start doing the layout. But again, I can see now that Bootstrap is working, and I can also try another button. Let's just jump into buttons right here. There we go. Under the components, there are buttons. And let's just try and add a success button instead, just to see if that guy works. There we go. Button success. Sweet. Let's try and see our code again, and notice now the button has changed to a green button. So that's it for this lesson. Now we installed Bootstrap, and next lesson we're going to do the same for the material just to show you how easy that is. That's it for this lesson. See you next time. Bye.